Hello everybody and welcome back to Reduced Retail. So today we have the Eufy RoboVac 11 Plus. And the Eufy RoboVac is a robotic vacuum cleaner that will clean all types of different floors around your house. And the vacuum cleaner sector has become very popular over the last couple of years. iRobot has been around for many years and their first generations didn't work all that well, so these did not catch on. But over the years, as technology has progressed, they have become smarter, better, and more efficient. Now, iRobot has very high-end models that work very well up into the $6, $7, $8, and even $900 price range. However, this Eufy is only $249. Now, it does not have some of the fancy features such as remote access through your phone and whatnot, but what it does have is a very strong vacuum, which is what I was looking for, power boost technology, which means that it will analyze the floor it's on, and when it's on hardwood, it will use a basic suction amount, and then it will actually boost its suction capability as it detects that it's on carpet, which is a really cool feature. We have a dog, Jessie, she's a black lab, and she sheds all over the place. So I actually wanted to purchase this just for dog hair. I wanted to run it each morning, which you can set in the settings. It'll run by itself, come back to the dock, and it will pick up some of that extra dog hair each morning, which will help in between deep cleans. So the Eufy also has a Hepa filter, which many other vacs in this category price range do not have. So that was a big plus for purchasing this. As you can see in the Amazon listing here, they're $249, but they actually have a $30 coupon. So at $219, this is a very attractive price for a RoboVac. So I wanted to go ahead and order this. It had really good reviews, over 3,000 of them. I read tons and tons of reviews and most people were very happy. There are a few unhappy customers, but that will be with any type of product. So I'm really optimistic on the capabilities of this product. But as you'll see in this review, we'll go over that. I'm gonna run it for about a week and kind of give you guys an update report in this review of how it's doing. But let's go ahead and open it up and see what this Eufy looks like in the box. Now the box looks really nice other than the fact that they shipped it with the box. So you can see it's got some of this black mess on it from shipping and sitting in a truck. But other than that, it has a really neat design, very up-to-date, current look. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Alrighty, so now we have it open and we can kind of take a look at what's in here. So it looks like kind of a foam padding. And here's our RoboVac. Which is very cool. It looks very nice. I like the look of it. It's pretty large. To give you an idea, I would say it's probably almost 12 inches, 11 to 12 inches in diameter. So it's a pretty good size robot, so it's gonna have some really good size components. It's gonna be able to pick up quite a bit as it moves around. Here is the remote. So like I said, this does not have remote access like a lot of the higher end counterparts. However, it will do the same job. You just will have to use the remote to program it and it'll do everything that the other robots will do. So let's go ahead and take all these out and look at the different components. So here we have the docking station. Pretty basic. It has the two, so it will find itself back on the docking station, which is really cool. So it will just go back and charge itself and be ready for the next day. Like I said, the run time's approximately 100 minutes, depending on how much power boost mode it uses for the carpets. So that's really cool. So you just set this in a corner. It's got a nice foam pad under it. That's pretty nice. And it has a nice black gloss look to it. Like I said, here's the remote. They even included 2 AAA batteries, which is what the remote will need. Here are the bottom kind of, I don't know what you would call them, bristle fans. And what they will do is they will spin on the outside of the RoboVac, and they will actually suck in extra debris to help it kind of pull from tight, hard corners, especially, 90-degree corners that a circular RoboVac cannot reach. Here is the Hepa filter, which is really nice. You just will probably put that in the RoboVac, but we'll open it and see what we have. I'm not really sure what this is. I'll have to check this out. Looks like some sort of brush, maybe to actually, I'm betting this is actually to untangle anything gets caught in the moving bristles under the spinning bar. So yeah, you can probably cut like some string. As you can see, there's a razor cut string that gets caught in there. You can brush it out, or you can even grab and pull like hair strands that get caught. And, oh, this is probably the power adapter that goes onto the charging area. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Alrighty, and here we have the Eufy. So as I look around, it's actually not super heavy, but it's also not light. I don't know, it's probably, I would say, between 5 to 6 pounds. So it will have a little bit of heft, so it'll be able to kind of get traction. It's not gonna be too light, but it also isn't so heavy you can't move it around. So that's a nice plus. I really like, it's kind of got this silver grain to it, which is really nice. And one of the coolest features as I picked it up that I noticed is it's got a bumper. So as it'll maybe run into something, if the sensor doesn't quite pick something up, it will just bump into it, so it's not quite as hard. But it also has a nice kind of softer plastic, so if it does bump into things, it will not damage them. So here we go. Looks like this is the trash bin. Yep. So here's the trash bin, which is really nice. Probably open it. Yep. Here we can open it. And there's an, oh, so it looks like they gave you 2 filters. So here's one of the filters here. And then obviously you have this screen that just pops back down onto there. So this is the bin that will fill up. And it looks like, and that was super simple, it just slides right in there like that. So you can just slide it in and out. Very nice. So let's flip this over and see what we have. So as you can see, we have the Eufy here. It looks like this one, this strand has actually become a little bit messed up in shipping, but you can probably fix that if you just bend it a little bit. But the 2 of them are fine. I'm not too much worried about that. And then you have your moving center. And then here's your front wheels. And the neat thing is these are really, really rubber wheels. I could feel them when I was messing with it. And these pop up and down so they can really, you know, if you have something higher on one edge than the other, they can adjust accordingly so that they can get over just about anything that is thrown at the RoboVac. And it's like I said, this is its kind of front. This is how it moves left to right. And then here are the 2 charging areas. So it will just pop back on there. But yeah, it's pretty basic from that. But let's go ahead and start running it, and we'll talk about how it does after I do a few runs. Alrighty, everybody, we are back, and I've had a chance now to use the Eufy. I've had it about a week now, and it has been actually pretty great. I will go over some of the pros, some of the cons, on what make this great, and kind of some of the drawbacks on why it's priced the way it is. And remember, this is a $200 robotic vacuum. You can get these at the higher end retailers for $600, $700, $800, $900 if you go with iRobot, Nito, whatever. And so this is a lower priced item, but for me, it actually did a great job. Remember, I bought this also because I needed to pick up lots of extra pet hair. So I wanted to have something along that line of cleaning. Now, with the Eufy, it didn't come with a lot of the bells and whistles, and that's probably one of the first cons, if you wanted to say that. It does not have your phone remote access, so you can't be away and go ahead and start it through an iPhone app whenever you're away. You can set scheduling, I will say that. It does actually have a remote, but you can't use your iPhone, so it's not linked to your Wi-Fi. It's not a smart robotic vacuum. Now, the next thing that is probably another fairly big issue is the actual way it cleans. Now, some vacuums map everything out and clean it in a nice fashion. This, I think, just relies on doing an algorithm of moving around the room from room to room, and it will eventually get pretty much every crevice. It has a 100-minute runtime. My main level is about 1,800 square feet, and what I found is that during that time, even though it didn't seem to choose a specific pattern, it would hit every spot. It actually moves around fairly quickly. It will enhance its suction, and we'll get into that. It will do a bunch of different features during that point, but it seems to be a little bit randomized. Each time it turns on, it doesn't take the same pattern. It does choose different spots. And I think if you did more of a light spot cleaning over, say, a week, let's say if you ran it 3 days, I'm running it every day right now, but you run it 3 days, it's gonna hit every spot during that week, depending on how much cleaning you need to be done. So that's probably one of the drawbacks. It's maybe not as efficient, but as I said, with the runtime, it seems to be pretty good. It hit all of my area, and 1,800 square feet is pretty fair as far as size. Now, moving on, that seemed to be really the final issues that came around it. I will go ahead and come in the middle kind of ground and say that these aren't issues, these are things that you will want to maintain. We'll say they're maintenance. They're kind of in between. They're not pros, they're not cons. The nice thing is this pops right out, and this is where the vacuum takes place. And as you can see, I actually just ran this. I wanted to show you guys after about 30 minutes of what this will pick up. And this bar comes out, which is really nice, but this is part of the maintenance. You want to every now and then clean this bar. And the neat thing is they do give you one of these tools, and this tool can be used for pulling out hair. If you got strands of carpet, there's a slicer that you can cut down. So that's pretty nice. You just keep this clean. Now remember, these are components that can be replaced. So if this eventually is at a point where it just needs to be replaced, it can be, and it will fit, I believe it's this way, right back in its place. And it clicks right like that. So that's part of the small maintenance. These also can be replaced after a time. You'll see that the way that they pull, they end up actually creating kind of a turned look to them, but that's normal. These wheels are phenomenal. That probably goes under the pros for sure. But one thing I will say is, as well as maintenance, is the dustbin. Now let's go ahead and open this up, and I will show you. Now that's just after a short clean. I cleaned it yesterday and it started running this morning, so I wanted to actually show you guys this dustbin, and it picked up tons of hair, which it always does. Now depending on how much hair there is will depend on how often you need to clean the bin. But it was able to pick up, it looks like someone threw a wrapper on the ground and some actually larger sediment. So that goes in there, and then remember, one of the big components that I bought this was for this Hepa filter. And that's in here, and as you can see, pop in here, and I actually need to go ahead and clean that again. It's pretty dark. So I will go in and clean all this, and that helps with the allergens in the air. So that's a pretty big plus. I'm really happy with that feature that comes on it. Now, one of the neat things I have found is as you run this more, you don't need to clean it out as much. When I was running this first, when I first got this started, wow, you can see all of that gross dirt that it's picked up. What I will say, as I cleaned more often, the trash bin did not need to be thrown out as often. When I was first cleaning, I would need to throw the trash bin out every 15 minutes. It would fill up. And this is a little tip if you do end up purchasing one of these. If you start noticing that there's clumps of, say, hair or smaller sediment that should have been picked up by the Eufy, it will pick it up. But the dust bin is probably full. And as I'll show you again, this area right here, if it gets really full, will fill up. Well, once the Eufy goes over, it'll push it, it won't be able to go into the dustbin, and it'll get pushed back out. So it'll look like it's something the Eufy's not picking up. I found that issue with some of the hair clumps from our dog, and it seemed like it wasn't picking up. Well, it's because the bin was full. It just needed to be thrown out. And as time has progressed, now that it's running every morning, I'm finding that I can run it almost half the time and throw a bin out. Eventually, I'll be able to run it the full time and not need to throw out the bin. I can throw it out after it's completed. So let's go on some of the pros. One of the pros is definitely the battery life. The battery life has been substantial. I can run it pretty much fully upstairs for 45 minutes, jump it downstairs and run it for another 45 minutes. It can get both floors almost in a full battery charge depending on how deep of a clean. You know, sometimes it'll go over the same spot twice, so the efficiency may or may not be there sometimes, but for the most part, I can hit almost every part of both floors in 45 minutes. It's amazing to see how far the Eufy will go. And as you'll see in this little video clip, you'll see it kind of moving around as it's going onto the carpet. And that's one of the next features I wanted to talk about. As you see it, it will pump up its suction when it notices it's on carpet. It will detect that. So when it's on hardwood, it knows that debris will go ahead and be sucked up a little bit easier. There's not as much friction. As soon as it goes onto carpet, it doubles its suction power. And that's really neat. It will burn a little bit more battery life, but I found, again, it was very adequate on battery life, if not really good. So that was a really neat feature. The next thing I wanted to talk about is it will dock itself, which is really cool. Once it's done, it goes ahead and docks itself. Now, if you mess with it, you know, if like I went ahead and paused it during its route, and if you put it on a different floor, obviously it won't be able to dock itself. It can't go up and down floors. But if you leave it on the main floor, it will find its way home, which is really neat. Another cool feature is there is a full hard power on and off, so you can actually leave it charging but turn it off, and that way if you have scheduled you know, times for it to go, it will just go ahead and charge on the dock, and it won't. So if you go away on you know, a holiday weekend or whatnot, you can turn it off. That way the Eufy's not working while you're gone if you don't need it to, but yet it can stay docked and it just won't go anywhere. So that's a pretty neat feature. This main bumper, so again, the Eufy will go forward. This bumper is a huge plus. I see the reason they did it, because the Eufy has sensors in many of the different parts of this front. However, if you get like a chair leg in between two sensors, it will run into it, but it never runs hard. It will just hit, it'll push on that a little bit, and then it'll go back and try another route. Again, you can see these bristles, they work phenomenally. But guys, I've been really happy with this so far. It comes with a 1-year warranty. I will put a link in the description below if you're interested in it. You can buy it through Amazon. Like I said, they have a coupon right now for $30 off, so I think it's $219 instead of $249. But it's $200. It may not have some of the cool features that the other robotic vacuums have. However, it's a fraction of the cost. This is literally a fourth of the cost of a high-end iRobot. And to be honest, I can't see where that extra benefit is. It has a full Hepa filter, it has plenty of runtime, it picks up great debris, and if you run it long enough, it will hit every section of your house. And like I said, it comes with a remote that you can go ahead and set different times. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. There's a nice manual that comes with it. But yeah, guys, I've been really happy with it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. If you did like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Enjoy interacting with all of my subscribers. It's been awesome. I have some really cool products coming up, but this has been one of my favorites, so I do appreciate it and hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. Take care.